Welcome to Season 1 of The Chris Hanna Show, where we're going all in on how to improve your impact, your productivity, and performance. Today's podcast is brought to you by Evolving Management. Isn't it about time that companies and leaders rethink and evolve their approach to managing? Visit evolvingmanagement.com for featured content, blogs, manager toolkits, coaching solutions, and more. That's evolvingmanagement.com. It's about time that companies start to look at their recruiting process and start to realize there's an opportunity to evolve the approach. It's often been said that there is a war for talent. There's a lot of great people out there who provide a tremendous amount of support and expertise and assistance to many different companies, but we have a problem in today's HR world. There's so much competition out there, making it tough for companies to attract and retain the best and most qualified individuals. Now, when you add on the fact that it's really tough in today's economy to retain high potential top talent, the challenges just increase. Obviously, our workforce is evolving, and they're desiring increased levels of flexibility and autonomy. But if our workforce is evolving so much, then why aren't companies doing the same when it comes to recruiting? Why do so many companies still rely exclusively on the post and pray recruiting method? Too many recruiters and hiring managers are choosing to post a position and praying that the best candidate will apply. As an approach, this is one that I would classify as being incredibly passive, but it's the one that most organizations choose to take. It's easy to do the same old thing over and over again, but far too many people fail to realize that is also the definition of insanity, in the sense that they are still expecting a different result. Talent acquisition teams spend most of their time creating job postings, and they're uploading them on the company website or a career page. Once the posting goes live, then the waiting game starts. The recruiting team will start to wait and hope and pray that the right candidate will apply so they can connect with their hiring manager and give them that candidate the next round, which will be the interview. But there are many times where that approach can lead to stretches of nothing happening. Weeks, months, or even worse, with some roles, years literally can go by without a position being filled. There are critical roles in many organizations that are just left open because they can't find the right candidate. It's because they are, again, doing the same thing repeatedly over and over again and expecting a different result. The post and pray approach for recruiting, it doesn't work. Unfortunately, in most situations, the best candidate is not surfing on your particular corporate careers page or actively looking for a new job. Heck, the best candidate might not even know that that opportunity exists. There's actually probably a good chance that they don't know that it exists. So, what are people left with? Well, they're left with the best person who has applied, not necessarily the best candidate for the role. Lacking highly qualified candidates, organizations are left settling. They settle for the best of who has applied. So instead of adding superstars to the team, what they get is mediocre or subpar candidates. They're people who are okay. They're people who, to use a certain phrase, they might fill a seat, or they're good enough. Now, I would argue when you're trying to hire somebody, I have never experienced more challenges than when I'm trying to hire someone and I compromise and I pick someone who's just good enough. If you don't hire for potential and try and hire the strongest, the best, the superstars out there, your team itself becomes mediocre. So what's the alternative? Well, to shift from the reactive post and pray approach to a more proactive way of recruiting, talent acquisition teams need to spend more time hunting for prospects. Now, proactive recruiting is something that requires an HR specialist or a recruiter to go out there and find the talent first, as opposed to waiting for the qualified candidate to come to them. It's a smarter, more effective strategy, whether it's searching for candidates proactively on LinkedIn, which is obviously one of the greatest sources to find, talent. It's also could be sourcing employee referrals, attending colleges and universities with targeted presentations. Becoming more proactive can help close the gap to find the superstars that a company really needs. But as I said earlier, is that most prospects are not looking for jobs. So one can still utilize the hunting mindset and trying to proactively approach candidates who might fit the bill, but there are still people who might not see it on LinkedIn or might not be ultimately looking for a position. So I think that organizations should continue to leverage other social media aspects as well, in combination with things like video, to promote their roles as well. Whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, there are so many different social media platforms out there in today's world. Organizations that want to be successful should be leveraging these social media platforms more so now than ever. Most news is actually consumed through social media. Companies need to get in front of the right candidates, and that could be by leveraging social media more effectively. Every company is actually in the same business, whether they know it or not. They're in the people business. So organizations need to make sure that they are front and center where people are most readily available. They need to make sure that they are where their people are. So if a company is looking for a particular type of role, they need to figure out where are those people hanging out online. Because the reality is most of the population is online in some capacity. Now, my final thoughts on recruiting when it comes to the post and pray approach is that it's important to have high standards as well. If you're going to source superstar talent, you have to have high standards and you have to maintain them. Recruiters need to obviously spend most of their time hunting and sourcing instead of posting and praying, but you need to make sure that you are doing so with the right expectations around what is the type of candidate that one is looking for. In addition to that, a well-resourced talent acquisition team is essential in order to be successful. Talent professionals really need to focus on building a pipeline of strong candidates and becoming more proactive. There's obviously a balancing act too that's in place and that's required in terms of filling existing roles with an eye of always knowing what's coming in the future. That's just necessary to make sure you're being more effective. That can obviously save a tremendous amount of time and improve value overall too. But the more that organizations can evolve their approach to recruiting and stop relying exclusively on the post and pray approach, the better chances they are going to have in succeeding in today's hyper-competitive marketplace. You've been listening to The Chris Hanna Show. To have me speak at your next event, or for additional solutions to help you achieve more than you thought possible, visit chrishanna.ca today. For other solutions and resources designed to help companies and leaders rethink and evolve their approach to managing, be sure to check out evolvingmanagement.com. Lastly, please remember to subscribe and share to receive the latest episodes wherever you listen to your podcast. We look forward to connecting with you again soon for another episode of The Chris Hanna Show.